I don't quite know what your New Year plans are, but our plans here this New Year's Eve is to stay in, listen very carefully to what the Prime Minister says, and then dissect and decode what this means for you, your wallet. Joining me now, I want to introduce our guests. So joining us for this special broadcast, Raj Chingappa. Welcome to the studio. The man who interviewed the Prime Minister, that interview still being spoken about nationwide. My colleague and India Today's executive editor Javed Ansari. Javed, welcome. Also with us on this broadcast, representing the BJP, GVL Narasimha Rao. We've got Priyanka Chaturvedi of the Congress Party. We've got Nitin Desai, premier economist, joining us on this broadcast, and also well-known business journalist, editor M.K. Venu. So welcome to all our guests. Let's focus on the big announcements the Prime Minister could make in this address to the nation. The BJP has officially confirmed that the Prime Minister will address the nation at 7:30 p.m. Before this, there was some back and forth about whether the address could be advanced. In his address, the Prime Minister might announce part 2 of demonetization, where life goes from here. Speculations are rife about the content of his speech. Sources say it could be a simple Thanksgiving speech for the people for supporting the note ban scheme. But the Prime Minister, after thanking people, is also likely to announce some populist measures focusing on the needs of the middle class and small merchants. The Prime Minister is also likely to present his vision for 2017 and unveil the next measures in his government's fight against corruption and black money. This could lead to another set of crackdowns. He's also likely to stress on the need to promote direct benefit transfer schemes among citizens. And I just want to build in a small caveat before we go any further. Frankly, this is all a lot of informed speculation. Nobody really knows, even in the BJP, what the Prime Minister is going to say. They may have a broad idea. The Prime Minister caught his own party and the nation off guard when he announced the surgical strike on black money. Who knows what he could do today? But we've got the people who could help us try and put together what could be in the Prime Minister's mind. Raj Chingappa had the opportunity to spend time with Prime Minister Modi. We've read your interview. On the basis of everything that's in the public domain so far, as the one person who's spoken at length to the Prime Minister himself on demonetization, Raj, what do you see will happen?
I'm going to flash the magazine first so that it's out on the stands, pick it up, and you'll get a better idea of it. But I think a couple of things. One, he exuded confidence. So he's not going to be on the defensive when he addresses the nation. Two, he made it very clear that a lot of the money is coming in. And that's, I think, one of the accountability things that he's going to give us a report card on, is just how much of that money has come in. He says that is not a problem. The amount, as everybody said, the windfall may not be as much as he had expected, but he says that's not the problem, because I will have a financial trail. And from what he hinted, he said that for all the pain that has happened, he would certainly give back some gain to the common man. Now, I don't know whether that gain will happen today or it will happen at the budget, because he's also got the budget, another ace up his sleeve. That's the other part is there. But clearly he indicated that he would be using a lot of this money that he's going to collect in some form, maybe 1 lakh crores or whatever, as windfall. He also hinted that he would move towards stimulating various sectors of the economy. And the third point I think he made was that the pluses that he would outline in his speech today is that it has been able to curb money for terrorists,
terror financing, Naxals, human trafficking,
counterfeit money, whatever it is that is there, all the bad things that they wanted to cut with it. Apart from that, the positive side is, he says, all these people have brought the money back. We can now track them, and then much later on, you could, recover a lot more money on penalties.
GVL, do you have any idea at all? As national spokesperson, have you been briefed, or are you as clueless or as informed as the rest of our panel?
No, Rahul, I think we will all be listening to the Honorable Prime Minister when he speaks. I don't think anybody would really have will have an idea of what exactly is going to be his speech. But for sure, he's going to wish the people of the country a happy new year.
Oh, great.
And that's something that you can be sure about. And he will, in all probability, refer to how people supported the government, how people really joined him in bringing about a transformation in our economy. Possibly these are points, but the way the media has been building it up today, it looks as if you're expecting a State of the Nation speech. But this is not what it is, possibly. certainly government's intent is already known. I think a quarter of the money that will be generated by way of additional, by way of a deposit by people who will declare their unaccounted income, that will go towards people's welfare of the poor. And those plans are already there. The government has already made up its mind as to how this money needs to be channelized. And there will be a lot of investments into rural infrastructure. And but today, honestly, I think this is, I think the build-up is a little over-expected. And
so you're
we should
basically
really
trying to temper expectations. GVL, as a good BJP spokesperson, saying don't get excited because he's not going to play Santa Claus, and this is not Modi coming riding on a sleigh handing out goodies. MK Venu, because people expect, they felt the pain, they're waiting for the gain. The BJP trying very hard to say, hey, don't get carried away. It's not as if this is Santa Claus who's coming. Christmas is already past this year.
Rahul, my sense is that since the union budget is only a few weeks away, it's on the 1st of February, I don't think at this stage the Prime Minister would preempt Arun Jaitley's budget or take away the thunder from the Finance Minister. But definitely he will make a statement of intent, and the statement of intent will be, as you said, will be that, well, you people have suffered pain for so many weeks since the 8th of November, and all those who stood by the government and stood by the demonetization move and its potential to cleanse the system, as it were, those people will be rewarded, and those who the violators will be punished. So those kind of motherhood statements will be there. But Rahul, I would add one more thing. I think today's speech will be much more political in nature, because if you remember, Mr. Modi, about 2 weeks ago, he said that 2017 will be the year of renewal. Now, the BJP will move away from economics, because on economics, they are slightly on a weak wicket in terms of when the recovery will be, losses, job losses, various parameters which may not pan out very well, at least over the 3 months. He would talk about a moral renewal. He would sort of impart this whole move with a sense of political morality, or even the economic policy with a sense of
Priyanka Chaturvedi, from the Congress's perspective, the Prime Minister's speech comes at a time when it's just been announced by the Congress that Rahul Gandhi is taken off for a New Year vacation. I don't grudge Rahul his New Year break, but people are bound to make comparisons. One nation, you've got two netas, one of whom wants to take his New Year break as he can and must, if he so desires, and you got another neta who absolutely doesn't want to take any break at all and doesn't want to let anybody else take any break, either in his team or outside. So how does that comparison play out politically? Should Rahul possibly have postponed his vacation, listened to the Prime Minister, responded maybe, and then gone off?
Okay, Rahul, I did read your tweet. I just like to mention one thing here. Various leaders across the world, whether it is a Barack Obama as the President of the United States or Angela Merkel as the head of Germany, have also Putin from Russia or Xi Jinping from China, they also take breaks. So it's absolutely normal for people to take breaks, even during political turmoil or during times when you think that the going gets tough. So I think
you're right, Priyanka. You're right, Priyanka, that Barack Obama takes breaks.
Secondly, allow me to complete. Rahul, allow me to complete. Rahul, allow me to complete. Allow me to complete. So the second point being, I think when you talk about taking breaks or working, your efficiency and productivity matters, and it's not about how many hours you put in. What matters is the hours that you have put in have been efficient and productive. Now, talking about post-demonetization from the 8th of November, the Prime Minister of this country has managed to shake the country to its core. We have seen the repercussions of it with over 115 people dead and no answers coming from the Bharatiya Janata Party. We have seen many economists across the world questioning the government and its move on this entire demonetization process.
But Priyanka, can I just stop you for a moment to ask you this question? I will allow you to speak further. Just listen to my question, Priyanka. This is at the end of the day a question of political perception. You're saying that Rahul Gandhi is entitled to take a break, as he absolutely is, but at the same, and so do Barack Obama, David Cameron used to do it, all other leaders do it. But you've currently got a setup where you got another party whose man is Prime Minister who refuses to take a break, and people draw these comparisons saying that, you know, honestly, I'd like to take a break. You know, there's I'm not saying that work 24/7 like Prime Minister Modi does, but I'm saying there is a comparison that automatically is drawn by people who are watching.
No, I think this entire perception of, politicians taking a break needs to change. I mean, politicians lead a similar life that you probably lead, and normal people across the country, across the world lead. So this needs to change a bit about perception, etc. As far as the party is concerned, we have raised our concerns consistently outside the parliament. We've tried to raise it inside the parliament. Post demonetization, we've made every effort to get the Prime Minister to answer a few questions. When you talk about efficiency and productivity, we would want to know from the Prime Minister of this country that post his announcement on 8th November, what have been the achievements of demonetization?
Sure, and everybody wants to listen to what the Prime Minister has to say about that. That's a good question. Raj, does this work to the Prime Minister's disadvantage? The perception that Rahul Gandhi is again taken off for a holiday while he's here at the trenches working away on New Year's Eve?
Well, yeah, maybe in terms of optics, but let's look at it. He's the Prime Minister. Rahul Gandhi is entitled to his break if he wants to. If there's got valid reasons to do so, I have no issues. I think currently the focus is going to be on Prime Minister Modi. What is he going to say this evening? The kind of report card that he comes to the nation and says, look, thanks the nation, as I think GVL had mentioned, and then say what, unfurls more measures, possibly some relief coming in. And what's his game plan in the months ahead? I think that's the...
This question, Javed, is being asked by BJP spokesperson Shrikant Sharma spoke to India Today saying, where is Rahul Gandhi? He's not been heard or seen for the last few days. The Congress is talking about an earthquake. The earthquake has come on the Congress, but then he's the Yuvraj. He can go anywhere to do anything, even if the party is in the midst of an agitation. The party is in the midst of a anti-demonetization agitation, and the man who's supposed to be leading it is not there.
No, but he was leading it till yesterday. He's not here for the next couple of days. He'll be back again by Wednesday, we are told, and I tend to agree with what Raj Sahib is saying, that he's entitled to leave. Even, look, he's not the Prime Minister of India. The Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, and there's a cabinet which is, they can't take leave as easily as somebody in the opposition can.
No, but Priyanka is suggesting that even maybe Modi should take leave, or the fact that Indian politicians also need to get a life.
I mean, I would have no beef with Prime Minister Modi if he took a few days off. He's worked hard enough. He's earned his leave. I wish I had leave, but people like you will not allow me leave.
Okay, no, but I must say this. Even though it's true that we've cancelled leaves, but I'm here myself. So it's not as if we've cancelled leaves of our reporters and then Raj and I have taken off and gone off to Goa or London or wherever else Rahul and the other lot are partying. But okay, I want to go across Nitin Desai, because we haven't heard yet, Mr. Desai, how much money has come back into the RBI's coffers. Now, there's a lot of mystery around that. I can't understand why. They announced earlier on the 12th of December how much money had come back in. Since then, they haven't said a word. Given what we know in the public domain, can the Prime Minister realistically play Santa Claus?
At this stage, I don't think they have enough information on how much money will actually get added to the government's coffers. I hope that the Prime Minister has obtained the information on how much money has been deposited as of 30th December. As you said, we don't have information after 12th December, and how much money has been re-injected into the system. He probably will also explain why we continue to have restrictions on how much money can be withdrawn by individuals from their own accounts per week, which I understand continue, and so do some restrictions on the ATMs, where of course the limit has been raised, but quite a few ATMs are not functioning. So I hope that there is more up-to-date information on where are we on this whole mechanical process of people depositing old notes and new notes being re-injected. Second,
things, Nitin Desai, that people have been saying again and again, as we chat with people in the BJP and the RSS,
some people may have been...
They've been talking about the possibility of some kind of a fund transfer. A couple of options have been looked at. One, the fact that maybe money that's beyond a certain limit that's been deposited after the 8th of November in Jan Dhan accounts could be frozen as FDs for a few years, 5 years, 7 years maybe. We know also that there's been a counter to this suggestion where people have said you can't put a limit on how people can spend or not spend their money. It's simply not something that's legally possible. So we've looked at there was the theory earlier that if there's a lot of money that gets extinguished, there could be a deposit into people's account. Is that just langar gossip? Is that just people are talking about on the streets, or do you believe it is at all financially feasible?
This is not financially feasible. In any case, all the indications are that most of the outstanding currency has been redeposited, and the money that will come to the government will be essentially through what they will raise by way of additional taxation, either through the IDS schemes or by following through on the deposits which have been made, the large deposits which have been made. I don't see under what law they can freeze a person's bank account. They can certainly do that after they have established that the deposits in it were illegal. But I cannot see under what law they could do that. In any case, as an economist, what I would say is what matters is what is the additional spending power of government relative to what it would have been earlier. The additional spending power of government can only come from a reduction in its spending power somewhere else. And that means that money has to come into the budget in some form. The business of it coming in as a additional dividend from the RBI has already been negatived by the governor, no less a person than the governor of the RBI. And there is no practical way in which that could be done. So I would say I hope to see some clarity on these numbers, on these processes and numbers.
No, absolutely. There's no taking away from the fact that the RBI hasn't been transparent about the numbers, about the money coming in. This is most unfortunate. In fact, one of the things the RBI is saying is that they have been transparent. They've been anything but transparent. Make no mistake about it. See, I've got this WhatsApp forward that's coming from one of the leading pubs in Delhi. I'll just ask our camera person to just zoom in and see if we can see this. They've put up big screens, Raj, at the pub this evening. So you can kick off New Year celebrations. First, listen to the Prime Minister. Sit back. Okay, where is the camera? So sit back and listen to the Prime Minister. Here, so I'll read out what they say. They say, 50 days and endless ATM lines later, what does our Prime Minister have in store for us? Join us 7:30 p.m. social 31st December. So the New Year party is being rung in.
Very unusual way of celebrating.
Very unusual way. My New Year drink is this cough syrup. I've got this cough syrup, unfortunately. That's all I can do for New Year's.
The Modi beat.
People otherwise can sit back, watch, and see whether they have any money left. What does Prime Minister Modi have to say? GVL, you can say what you please. The fact is there are expectations, and the Prime Minister will have to deliver on those expectations. Make no mistake about it. We're slipping into a very quick break. When we come back, I bring to you the demonetization 50-day report card. What's changed? How have different sectors reacted? What's the economy looking like? We look at the government figures. We'll also look at non-government figures when we come back with